What's up YouTube, PZSN here. Got another Zippo video for you guys today. I'm trying to get back into making Zippo videos a little bit more frequently like I used to. It's not like I've been, getting out of the Zippos or anything, or like I've, been losing my interest in Zippos. Like I said in my past collection update video, excuse me. Like I said in my past collection update video, the main reason why I am not making many Zippo videos is because I literally have to stop buying them for a while because I've been buying them too often. So yeah, I'd say I've been doing pretty good at that. I'm thinking I might buy another one pretty soon here, but we'll see. I don't know. And obviously Christmas is coming up. I have a feeling I might get a couple. It's a little bit, I don't even know. I have a feeling I might get one or two for Christmas though, we'll see. But anyways, I want to do a Zippo review for you guys. This is actually a review that's been a bit overdue, of the armor Zippos, okay? So, so what I've got here, I have got 3 Zippos, okay? Here in the middle, we've got a regular Zippo. Nothing too special about it, although it is actually one of my favorite regulars. It actually has fingerprints on it. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to wipe it off. I'm not really sure how many finishes there are, in terms of the armor Zippos. Like, I don't know if you can get a sapphire armor. I think that would be pretty cool if you could, but I don't know if you can. To be honest, I don't think you can. But excuse me. But I think that, that'll be actually a really cool thing to be able to get. But anyways, that's besides the point. Actually, that's a little bit washed out. Kind of sucks how I have to have that lamp on. Like, I have to have that lamp on. Actually, you know what? I might be able to leave it on. Oh, it looks like I have to leave it on, but I just moved everything back a little bit. So even though you've still got this big white spot right here, at least you can still see everything else. But anyways, like I was saying, this is a regular Zippo. This is a Zippo that, if you own a Zippo, chances are you own one like this. This is just your standard, everyday Zippo. Alright, the only special thing about it is, of course, the finish. But, again, it's just a regular Zippo. Nothing different about it. These two, though, are armors, okay? Let's see, I don't remember which one's which. Here's this one. And here's this one. So. Man, I always make these videos and I'm tired. So, there you go. Yeah, so, like I said, this is your regular, but these two are armors, okay? Let's go ahead and take one of these. And let's go ahead and learn, actually let's take this one, because this one has this bit here, exposed and such. Let me actually separate this from the lid, so I can set this down without scratching it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at, first of all, what the armor Zippo actually is. So for those of you who don't know what the armor Zippo is, and that shadow is coming from my closet light, which I forgot to turn off when I was experimenting with the lighting. The distinctive symbol on the bottom stamp authenticates this lighter, as heavy-walled armor. And the armor case is about 1.5 times as thick as a standard Zippo case. That right there, that line that I just read, the armor case is about 1.5 times as thick as a standard Zippo case, that is what makes the armor Zippos different from the regular Zippos, alright? And, yeah, as you can see, this one here is a Zippo bolted, which is probably my favorite Zippo ever. So, yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and, so that is basically what makes the armor Zippos, special, compared to regular Zippos, is the fact that they have thicker walls. So, because now we know how thick that they have thicker walls, let's go ahead and see how much thicker they actually are. So, let's do that. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the standard Zippo. As you can see, you're getting, that's basically how thick it is. You're looking into the lid, by the way. So, yeah, ooh, look at that. Little bit of glue glistening right. It's kind of hard to see, I don't know. Right there at the very, it's pretty. So, there you go. Just to get you guys a good idea of what it looks like. That is a very, very artistic shot right there. I am, whoa, look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. That is like, wow. Wow. That's pretty. That's so pretty. I must stop it. Alright, so that was the regular Zippo. Let's go ahead and take a look at the armor Zippo. Let's take a look at this one first. This one here is a solid brass one. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a weird mark right there, but whatever. And as you can see, it is pretty noticeably thicker. Yeah, I'm going to compare the two side by side here in a little bit, but you can pretty much tell right just by looking at it like this that is definitely thicker. So we can get that shot again. And not quite, but let's get this shot. Woo! So pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I don't know what that little hyperventilation was. Finally, let's take a look at this one. Again, this one's also an armor case. And you can see quite substantially thicker than this one. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Tired, tired, tired. It's kind of funny because I'm always yawning in all my videos, which is really annoying. So, and of course, yeah, I forgot to show the comparison shot. Open. Okay, here we go. So here's a quick comparison between the two different finishes, or not finishes, but the two different types, just in case you had a hard time seeing it. There. That's pretty good. You can see that it is pretty substantially thicker. So there you go. Can't quite get that to work correctly for some strange reason. So that there you go. Quite literally the only difference between this Zippo and this Zippo. Actually, that's not the case. I just remembered there is one more difference that's incredibly subtle, and it's going to be interesting for me to show this. I might even need to take a picture and show it to you as a still picture, just so you guys don't think I'm going crazy here. But you can tell with the bottoms being as aligned as I can make them. You can see right here how flat that is. The armor Zippo is just a hair shorter. Alright? And this is not just like an anomaly or anything, or if that's the right word. It's not just, you know, this Zippo and this Zippo, you know. It's also this Zippo. And all the other Zippos that I've compared with it, which is a good part of my collection. Let's do it this way, so that way we don't cause too much damage. So let me see here. I need to flip that around so you can see the hinges. Again, yeah, I might again need to take a picture. But that, yeah, you can pretty much tell that the armor Zippo is just a little bit smaller. This is not like an oversized Zippo. It's just the regular Zippos are just slightly taller than the armor Zippos. It's not even noticeable, okay? I usually pick up on details. Able to pick up on details like that, but you know, I actually never even noticed that until I watched a video of somebody doing a video of the Zippo armor, in which point they mentioned it, and literally they're the only person I've ever heard mention it. So yeah, it's an incredibly subtle difference. Don't even consider it. It's just the way it is. The only way that would really pose a problem, I guess, is if you have like a case for your Zippo and you go from, stop yawning, please. You go from using a regular Zippo to an armor Zippo, you will probably see that it might be a little bit short. So there you go. Although the extra thickness might might make up for that, in that it will stretch out the material a little bit. So I don't know, maybe it'll make it taut along the top. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, I want to go ahead and get into a few sort of characteristics here and some pros and cons, I guess, about the Zippo armor. Let's go ahead and do that. So here we go. The one thing I would like to mention about the Zippo armors, that's sort of a bit of a misconception here. has to do with tricks, okay? Or you know the ability to do tricks with them and such. You don't really hear this a lot on YouTube, but if you go on Amazon and look at some Zippo reviews on there, you'll see that a lot of people, especially if you look under the armor Zippo reviews, you'll see that a lot of people say that they buy the armor Zippos for doing tricks, because in their mind, it's better to use a Zippo armor to do tricks. Let me go ahead and explain to you why that's actually not the case, okay? Like I said, like I've been trying to stress here, the only difference, aside from the fact that it's shorter, but that's not even something to put into consideration. In fact, I'm not even going to mention it anymore in this video. The only difference between, the only physical difference between this Zippo and this Zippo is the fact that this Zippo's casing is a little bit thicker than this Zippo. What that also means is that this Zippo is slightly heavier than this Zippo. So, like I've been trying to stress here, let me set this down for a little bit, the literal only difference between those two Zippos is the case difference, or the case thickness. So, take a look at, actually I'll show you this one first. What I'm trying to really stress there is that, because of that, they do have the same hinge. So, let me see here. That's about as in focus I'm going to get. Ooh, that's really hard to see. Good grief. Let me try this side. Wow, that's actually really, really hard to see. Hang on, I might need to grab a different Zippo. Let me see. Wow, that's weird. I'll grab this one because it's silver. It shouldn't be too big a problem here. Okay. Here, sitting on the button of my pint. It kind of hurts my foot. Okay. So, this is a 1937 replica, by the way. It's really focused in close, so there you go. Can't get the whole... What? That's a little blurry. Whatever. Here is the hinge of a regular Zippo. You can barely see... Oh, there you go. There you go. That's a good shot right there. See that little tiny thing right there? It's right inside of there. That little tiny little circle that's inside of the bigger circle, I guess. That is the hinge. That is the hinge. That is the connecting point between... That's the thing that holds the lid to the body, okay? That is what they pivot on. I'm so used to an armor Zippo. Good grief. So, like I said, that is the only difference. The only difference is the casing thickness. They have the same pins. Gosh, as the regular Zippos do. If I can get it to show. There you go. Basically right. Right there, you can see. It's the exact same hinge, the exact same diameter as the hinge, the pin in this one. The exact same thing. Let me flip it this way. So, what that means is that, and I'm just putting my 1937 replica back up there. What that means is, I'm sure you want to see a close-up of this, but what that means is, if you want to buy a Zippo to do tricks, you want to avoid buying the armors. Do not buy an armor Zippo for tricks, because they're going to wear out quicker. Because if you think about it, I mean, just think to how, even like grade school physics. Heavier objects equal greater forces. More mass equals more force, and more force equals more stress on objects, if you know what I mean. So, when I do this, right there, what was that? I just heard a weird noise and I thought my computer turned on, but my computer's still off. What that means is that when I do this, there is more force being exerted onto that hinge, than say this hinge when I do the exact same thing. Okay? Because this is actually lighter. So, you want to buy a regular Zippo for doing tricks. Okay? I hate doing this I hate to do that to my armor Zippos. Now I do hate to do that to this Zippo too. I mean, you know, I don't really do that as often as I did, you know, say back in the summer when I actually learned how to do that. But you know, I'll just do it once for you. It's not good. Not good. If you think about it this way, okay? When I do this right here, what's happening, and I really wish like I had a slow motion camera or something. Maybe I might even slow that down in post-production, see if that helps. What that does, if you think about it, you've got this. When you snap it open, this thing flies open in what seemed like a frame on the camera. Like, literally one frame, then the next frame it's open. You know what I mean? It just flies open, and then it hits here. This is the stopping point of the lid, which you'll notice, compared to a regular Zippo, is a more, so we can get it right this time, is a more obtuse, here, I gotta show it this way, a more obtuse angle than a regular Zippo. You can see that, I mean, you can see that this lid is clearly lower than this lid. That's because of the thicker case. There's, you know, more metal there, so more metal to get in the way of it, so less room to move, I guess. So yeah, it hits the stopping point, and then the extra momentum of the lid pushes it back even further. That is not good, okay? Obviously you don't want that. So, I mean, you don't want that on the regular Zippos either. That's why they say don't do tricks with your Zippos, because, you know, yeah. Actually, what I'd really recommend you do if you want to get into Zippo tricks, don't buy a Zippo at all. Go to, like, your Rite Aid or something and buy, like, a Ronson Jet Light. Because those things are like dirt cheap. Those things are, or no, excuse me, not a Ronson Jet Light. I mean a Ronson Wind. Because those things are actually, they're not knockoffs of Zippos. They're just sort of Ronson's take on the Zippo. They're similar enough to a Zippo in that they work exactly the same as a Zippo. They're the same sort of, you know, they're basically the same lighter, just, you know, different companies, different design. You know, they work fine for doing tricks with. You can practice tricks all day long with that thing, and if it breaks, so friggin' what? You can go buy another one. I mean, if you break your Zippo too, you do have the warranty in that you can send it back in for repairs, but that's just a bit of a hassle. You don't want to do that. So if you buy a Ronson and you break it, you know, all you got to do is go back into the store and pay $5 and get another one. I mean, that will add up, obviously. I mean, so don't break them often, I guess, but, you know, just what I'm saying is that, you know, you want to practice on a cheapo. Stop yawning. Good grief. You want to practice on your cheapo, on a cheapo version of lighters. You know, you could, if you absolutely desperately want to practice on a Zippo, you can go to Walmart and buy their $10 Zippos. Those things are also pretty good because they are, again, Zippos, so then you can actually practice with the actual lighter. But what I'm saying is that practice on the cheapos, and then when you actually want to perform, say in front of a camera or in front of a group of people or whatever, that is when you bring your nice Zippo, okay? That's when you bring this with you. That's when you practice. That's when you execute with this one. Is when you're actually performing for people. Because this looks a heck of a lot nicer than one of those cheap, crappy Ronson Wendy's or one of those cheapo Walmart $10 Zippos, which actually do look quite nice. It's just, you know, yeah. Anyways, that be that. Really quickly here, because this video is probably a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, I want to go and get into some pros and cons about the Zippo armors. Obviously the pros, the main market actually for what I see the Zippo armor to be for, actually for three things. Hang on, let me go ahead. I see like about, you know, 3 different markets for the Zippo armors. The first one is for people who who require a lighter for their job. You know, like if you need to have a lighter on the job site, I don't really know of any examples, although I do think those jobs would exist. Like, let's say you maybe work on a construction site or something, not that you need a lighter for that, but, you know, let's say you take one with you anyways, just because you like to have one on you, or because maybe you smoke or something and you need one, or you just want to have one on you in case you want to do that while on the job, for whatever reason. You know, obviously if you're in like a construction site, you're going to be at fairly high heights, so if you think about it, when you're hanging upside down from one of those big gigantic beams of scariness, I honestly do not know how you do that without at least even having a sense of butterflies. I mean, I guess you do have butterflies, but I don't know. You know, if you're upside down like that, jeez, you have a you have a way to you have the risk of your Zippo falling out of your pocket and falling several stories down to the ground. Now, I don't think even an armor Zippo could really survive a several stories drop like that, but if you're maybe at like a 1-story height or something, I mean, think about it this way. If you're at like sort of a kind of, something you should be worried about, like you wouldn't want to drop your lighter, but if you did, it's not like it's the end of the world. If you drop this regular Zippo from like a 1 or 2-story building, it's going to dent. It's going to damage it quite noticeably. It's going to suck. You're going to be really sad. But if you drop the armor Zippo, you might get a dent, you might get a scuff, you might just get nicked. Whatever, it's gonna hold its shape fairly well. It's gonna look completely fine. It's gonna be fine, basically. If it were to fall on, say, the corner like this, boom, that would cause problems. You might break the lid off. But just send that into Zippo, they'll refix it for you, and you'll actually get your Zippo back. It'll be the same Zippo, and it will just have a new hinge on it. And the casing should be fine. You might get a nice ding right there from, again, where it fell, but yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Or it will, it won't suffer as much. So, again, that's that. If you are really rough with your Zippos, the other market that I see it, or the another market that I see it for, is just so it can be a little bit different from other people. Like, I have yet to really offer this for somebody for a light or something, but if I were to see somebody who has a Zippo that's not lighting for some reason, or just a regular lighter that just doesn't work for some reason, and I were to offer them a light, when I hand them this one, they're gonna be like, wow, what is this? It's so chunky and heavy. It's so much heavier than my current Zippo. Why is it so heavy? Then you can tell them what it is, and they'll be like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there have never even heard of the armor Zippo. They probably never even thought of the concept of the armor Zippo, because, not everybody knows about it. Mostly it's just collectors who own these armor Zippos. So that's pretty cool. The armor Zippos, they just so you can say you're carrying an armor Zippo. I mean, it's kind of cool. Just to be different from other people, that's kind of nice. I'm trying to, thought that was not in its case correctly. That's why I did that there. And then thirdly, if you are a fan of very intricate design, or the thing with Zippo armors, and you can probably see it with this one, I'm really glad that I have this as an example for this, is that because you have the extra metal there, when it comes to put the design on it, you can add a lot more depth to the design. Basically, you can make it more 3D. Like, this design is pretty much 3-dimensional almost. I mean, it is, well, yeah, I mean, look at it. I'll actually get really up close. So you can see where the Zippo logo itself is. I think that's actually the original height of the metal. But then you can see how they sort of started taking off. It's actually really hard to see this because of stiffs. But you can then sort of see how the diamond look behind it is just, slightly lower. I mean, you can see right there how, yeah, it's just slightly lower than this is. So it just sort of disappears when you look at it like this. You can just see that Zippo design peeping through there. And it's just so cool. And you even have this little bit of enamel here. And I think that's actually, that cutout right there is even a little bit deeper. So you just have a lot more room to get just a lot more 3-dimensional with your designs. And it looks really nice. And one way I like to show it, although it's a little bit hard to see, but if you look at this like that, like this, let's see here. I'm trying to find the best angle to do this. This might be it. Yeah, here we go. You can sort of see that edge right here looks so rough and cruddy and poopy and bad. It just looks very inconsistent and ugly. I mean, what is going on there? Well, what that actually is, if you take a look at it, these two sort of ugly lumps there, that's the O. Or actually, that's the P. Okay? That's the P. So you can see how much that sticks out. Now, you can't really see the, the diamond sort of look very well, but, yeah, you can't really even feel it either. It's not, I mean, you can kind of feel it like this, but whatever. Whatever. Actually, you know what? Let's see. Oh, you kind of can. You kind of can. Sorry for that weird noise. Yeah, you kind of can, actually. Yeah, yeah, you kind of can. It's a little bit interesting. Excuse me. I've noticed a lot of people are getting sick these days. And, I'm getting a stuffed nose. That's great. Must be that time of year when everybody on YouTube gets sick. Literally every single YouTube video I've watched today, you know, that's been made, you know, fairly recently, as in like within the past week. Every single video, the person who made the video has been sick. It's weird. I guess I'm getting sick too. There must be something going around YouTube. I guess we could say that. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. Actually, that'd actually be really bad if you could transmit, like, you know, viruses, like, you know, that can get people sick, like, over YouTube, because that would be so bad, because you would get, like, a worldwide just plague of doom and destruction. Like, if an innocent YouTuber, let's say like, hang on, somebody really popular, like maybe, come on, Charlie Sheen. I don't even know what he does. I just hear his name a lot. So, like, if he had a flu or something and he were to do a video, wouldn't it just suck if, like, you know, by watching a video made by somebody who has the flu, wouldn't that just suck if you could catch the flu from another video? That would be awful. Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, then you'd have this archived version of the flu virus, which, you know, you could access at any time and get the flu whenever you wanted to. Oh, actually, no, I think actually you'd only be able to get the flu once, because you'd then become immune to that particular virus that caused the flus or something. I don't know. That would just be really bad. But, anyways, I really actually don't know if there are of any pros or cons about these Zippo armors. I mean, again, I mean, just very simple stuff. The weight, I mean, that could be considered both a pro or a con. A lot of people like the weight. I don't think I've actually seen anybody complaining that it's too heavy. And it's technically not that different. A lot of people make it seem like it's such a noticeable difference. It's really not. Hang on, there's where the focus is. I'm sorry. So, I mean, like I said, it's really not that much of a difference. It's a little, I mean, you know, you can tell, especially when it's filled, you can kind of tell. But yeah, it's really not that much of a difference. So that's pretty much it. I mean, the other con actually that I can say is that they are more expensive. This lighter cost me $19 on the internet, but if you look at this right here, I bought this on Amazon, by the way. If you look at the price tag, it is, you might be able to see that, it is $29.95. 20 flippin' 9.90 flippin' 5. That is a flippin' lot of money for a lighter. So if I were you, if you want to buy an armor Zippo, I would recommend you buy on the internet. Don't buy at a store, because you'll be paying that retail price, which is, again, ridiculous. So I bought this one on the internet, so I paid about $19 for it. I bought another brass Zippo that looks pretty similar to this, except that it says solid brass on it, that I don't use. That one I think from, you know, brand new costs like $24, $25. And I paid like $15 for that one on Amazon. So there you go. I mean, if you want to buy an armor Zippo, I would recommend that you go on Amazon. So that's going to do it for my armor Zippo review. So thanks for watching, and adios.